Hey y'all, and welcome back. It is 2026, and I've been thinking long and hard about this next year. I made some resolutions, some personal health goals, and just kind of the overall purpose of what I'm doing here on this channel. My goal is to hopefully, with everybody I come across who takes my advice and that I work with closely, to help them become a millionaire. I did it in 5 years through real estate. I think it's one of the strongest wealth building tools out there, and I want to empower others to do that. So if that is of interest to you, continue to watch the channel, because my goal is to hopefully help y'all out there become millionaires in 5 years or less. So that's what we're going to be tackling this year on this channel. I'm going to start off talking a little bit about net worth in real estate. There is over $40 trillion worth of equity in homes in America. If you look back at the last 25 years, a lot of that was gained in the last 10 years. But just in general, looking in the last 25 years, equity in homes has consistently gone up. It did dip in 2008, but it has consistently gone up over time. Those people who have owned their homes for 25 years have the most of their wealth sitting in their house. About 36% of Americans own their home outright, and about 72% of Americans have about 50% equity in their homes right now. There is a lot of untapped equity out there in homes in America. That money is not necessarily doing anything for you. It's kind of like having cash in the bank. It doesn't really do anything. Inflation over time actually lowers that amount if it's not making money for you. So if you just have cash sitting around and it's not at least in a low yield savings account or high yield savings account or being actively working for you through investments, it's actually losing money. And so a lot of what we're going to go over this year is how we can tap into these wealth tools to help us make sure that our money is consistently working for us. One of my favorite adages is don't wait to buy real estate and wait. Like I said before, you buy real estate, and this is why I love it. It's just so simple, right? If you can afford the mortgage payment, or you can buy an investment property and get your mortgage covered, it's very simple. All you have to do is hold on to that property, make sure the mortgage is paid, and then you just wait. And over time, 10, 15, 20 years, you are silently and deadly creating massive wealth. I have another graph here that is really interesting. It looks at all different income levels, from lower income up to middle income, and it assesses how much of their actual wealth comes from the equity in their homes. And in most cases, it's significant. In fact, it's the number one piece of wealth that they have is their homes. And if you don't own your home, you are missing out on that opportunity. So that's just a quick snapshot of the macro economy of how much wealth has been gained through those who own real estate over the last 25 years. I'm going to take a quick detour over to my local Boise Treasure Valley market. I think it mirrors a lot of other growing markets, emerging markets in the United States. Timing is impossible. It's like impossible to time the market. You can time the moment and kind of look at data, but it's impossible to perfectly time the market. I do see a lot of trends. So at the beginning of the year, most people who have their homes on the market or thinking about selling their homes do not go into the market. They'll either remove their home for the winter, get ready for spring market, or they'll just wait for spring market if it wasn't listed previously, which I think is a mistake. Because what happens is we have a lot of inventory, and we're seeing this right now in the Boise market. We had about 2,500 homes active in Ada County. We're down to 1,800. About 700 homes left the market in the last month, which means less competition for sellers out there. And then this is what's interesting. Buyers always start to get curious. They get a little bit curious at the beginning of the year, and it usually turns into pending contracts. Right around the end of January, sometime mid-February, we see a little bit of spike in pending contracts. So there's that sort of magic time for sellers where other homes have left the market. They're going to wait for that spring rush, and then buyers are creeping up. So you could capitalize on this change in momentums on both sides to hopefully create a competitive environment for your listing, because there's no other listings on the market like it, and buyers are coming into the market. Almost every year, no matter what market we're in, no matter what interest rates are, I almost always see multiple offers happen more in the first 2 months of the year than throughout the rest of the year. And so I have another graph here. So we got 2026, kind of what's happening in the first 2 weeks, and then 2025, what we saw last year. And as you can see right there, homes left the market, buyers came back in, and sellers had a great opportunity. This trend was consistent over 2024, 2023, and 2022. If you'd like to see that data, make sure you leave me a comment and I'll make sure to send it to you. All right, we're gonna zoom back out again. And this part is, it's kind of honestly scary, a little concerning to me. The good news, let's start there. So what I'm seeing is that mortgage foreclosures are at an all-time low. We do not have a lot of foreclosures in the market, meaning there is stability in the real estate market. But conversely, what we're seeing is student debt, credit card debt, and auto debt delinquencies are on the rise. All three of those are consistently on the rise. The real estate market seems to be stable, which is a good news, but on the flip side, a lot of other consumer debts are on the rise and they're not getting paid. So what happens to the economy when people can no longer pay their credit card payments or their auto payments? And how is that going to affect the real estate market? If you don't know, stay tuned till next week. I'll clue you in. This is really interesting data. Make sure you take a little bit of time to look at this, because as with always, when there is concern, there might also be opportunity. I want to make sure y'all are positioning yourself correctly. This is not a panic moment. This is a pay attention moment. I keep track of the data every week, and so you can reach out to me. I'll let you know what I'm seeing. I am continuing to put my money in real estate, and if you stay tuned to the channel, I'll tell you why. Thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you next week.